Motorhead Garage, presented by Topcoat, is brought to you by Stage 8 Fasteners, home of the world's best locking header bolt. Locking kits now available for all turbo applications. Go to stage8.com. 3D Mats, redefine protection. Jones Performance Products, the finest in fiberglass truck hoods and the home of truck rods. And by NH Oil Undercoating, the official oil-based rust prevention system.
Welcome back to Motorhead Garage, presented by Topcoat. You know, we get to take a lot of really cool field trips throughout the year, and one of our favorites is the NSRA Nationals, National Street Rod Association, and that is in Louisville, Kentucky. Wall-to-wall hot rods everywhere, and some of the coolest cars you will ever see. The first thing you see when you come down the escalator is the Builder Showcase. The very first car is this 1963 Buick Riviera. Justin Nichols is responsible for this magnificent vehicle. You are an artist. What is it about the 63 that you love so much?
I love the way the 63 Riviera came out when it was new, and I didn't want to change too much of it, but you look at cars and change and tweak, and I want to design it like I did it back in the day.
What are some of the subtle tweaks you made?
So we ripped the whole bottom of the car out. New chassis, new floor, made it all nice and flat, lowered the tunnel so we could do a nice console in there. We chopped it 1.5 inches. We shortened it 1 1/4 inches. So you can't really tell, but if you park it next to another one, you're gonna notice.
Looks pretty mean under the hood. What do you got going on there?
It's a LS motor. We put the Borland injection on there. Runs like a top, man, just hauls butt.
I love the wheels.
We got 20s up front and 22s in the back, so we obviously had to do some metal work in there to get them to fit, but it gives it a nice aggressive look.
It looks great from the outside, but it also looks great on the inside. Who's responsible for the interior?
We did that in our shop. Voss Upholstery came down. We knocked it out because we had a really tight deadline, did it there, and we put a 58 T-Bird dash, T-Bird seats in it, grafted it all the Riviera stuff, and it looks like it belongs.
I see the door handles are kind of stealthy there. So are the tail lights. What are some of the other little Easter eggs you have on this car?
So we reworked the whole thing. The bumper's got a lot of metal work in it. It doesn't really look like it. We hand-built this splitter on the front. We put some aero stuff all the way around the car. We didn't want to really make it pro touring looking, but we wanted it to look aggressive and just look like it's mad at you just sitting there.
Mission accomplished. What is it like when you set out to design a car like this and to have it pop off the page and become reality?
We're lucky enough in our shop right now to have awesome customers that kind of let us do what we want to do and design what we want to do. They tell us what they want, like what to start with, and then I give them, you know, a few different options. Usually it's the first one, which is right out of my head and the one that I like too. So it works out pretty good, and we get to build some cool stuff.
One of the coolest thing about these street rods here at the NSRA Nationals is the blending of the classic look with the modern technology. And there's no better example than this 1968 Camaro that you guys have done. James, tell me about this car.
Well, it's all the creature comforts of a brand new Camaro in the 68 chassis. The engine's from a 13 Camaro SS. It's a supercharged 656 horsepower car. Great suspension. The brakes are out of also a newer Camaro SS, even the seats. So 2019 SS seats. So in this old chassis, you have both heating and air conditioning in the seats. The car has its own wireless access point, so you can stream your music. Currently connected always to the internet. So one of the things we did is hook the baffling of the exhaust up to the car. So as you're either pushing a button to perform, or if the car's smart enough to know if you're getting into it a little bit, it will open up the exhaust baffling. But after you're coming home after a late night, we geo-fenced the owner's neighborhood, so it closes the baffles on the exhaust and quiets the exhaust down as he's coming home. All the lights are digital, they're active, so just like your modern cars, as you're hitting the turn signals, they'll move. They've been tucked behind the bumpers, unlike older cars, so really old chassis, but brand new everything else on the car.
What do folks say when they see this from 20 feet away? And how does that change when they get closer?
Yeah, they ask a lot if we darken the bottom of the car. There's so much flake and pearl in the paint that depending on where that light's hitting the car, it really does look like it's multiple colors, but it's not. It's just almost 80% of the paint in the can going onto the car was metal and flake versus liquid.
You see a classic Camaro when you look at it from the outside, but you poke your head inside. What kind of reaction do you get from people when they do that?
So they ask a lot of questions about the interior. A lot of the components inside the car were handmade or cut out of a water jet. So the surrounds around the upgraded speaker system, the door handles, the door pulls, a lot of the center console, all those things are one-off and custom to this car. There's ambiance lighting and things of that like a newer car would have. You're basically stepping into a brand new 2020 nostalgic Camaro.
This car's certainly deserving of being here. What's it like to be in the company of all these other great hot rods here?
Not bragging, this is kind of where we play. The car debuted earlier this year at the Pirelli Grade 8 show. Took first in class for Pro Street. Then COVID shut everything down, but this is the next show that it's able to come out, and we're hoping for a good return in the Builder Showcase.
Well, that is going to do it for this episode of Motorhead Garage presented by Top Coat. We are certainly glad that you came along for the ride. Now, if you miss us during the week, be sure to check out our Facebook page, see what we are up to, and if you have something you'd like to see featured on Motorhead Garage, email Jeff at masterstv.com. By the way, we also have a YouTube channel with all kinds of great shows on there. You can check that out at Masters Entertainment Group on YouTube. Until next week, we will see you from our Borla Studios and our entire crew. So long.